All right, we're live. Yeah, I made simple. I'm Steve R.Y. Brown. Today we're in our mobile studio. Got a great show. I have to confess, today's topic is about confession prompting. And where did that come from? Well, it's from that concern or that fear that we have to know everything. But the truth is, you can't know everything. At least I can't. Um, so, often when we're using these AI tools, we end up kind of staring at the screen and wondering what's the right prompt to put in for this particular assignment. Of course, the better the prompt, the better the outcome. Last episode, we covered that and gave some really clear examples. And if you're receiving the AI Made Simple newsletter, you're getting specific frameworks to use prompting or really powerful prompting for content, images, and videos. But today, one of the things that I do when I'm using prompting is I just kind of do a brain dump, and I confess basically to the AI. I don't know where to start on this, so I'm going to share the screen. We're going to go to the window. Here we go. Yeah, you guys made it. All right. So what is confession prompting? Basically, it just means that you're telling the LLM, look, I don't know where to start. Here's kind of what I was thinking. Here's what I want to do. Can you help me get my head around this and help me get a plan and an agenda? And so today, for this show, I was kind of in that state. I have to confess. It's like, usually I have a topic that's really burning that I want to cover. And today, because I'm in a different location, I've been traveling, I was a little bit focused on other things, getting oriented. And in the effort of preparing for the show, it became obvious to me that I need to spend a little more time on presenting for this. So I did the old confession prompting. And let me see here. I have to make sure I'm sharing this right page. Yep. All right. So it's really, really easy. Here's why it matters. Oftentimes we're not prepared, but if you're leading a company or an organization, you're always in the moment. You've got all these things pulling at you, and you'd like to be more prepared than you are every time you step into a meeting. And yet you have to step into that meeting. You have to step in with that client. You have to step in with that employee and do the best you can on the fly. And so being able to just spend a moment and share that what's going on with that LLM, then it can quickly get you organized and set you up. And so I'm going to show you an example of this. So let's go to here on my laptop. So it's I'm a little bit clumsy. Here we go. Let's see if we made it. Yeah. So this is the exact confession I made earlier before getting prepared for this show. Is like, hey, I want to do a live stream today about confession prompting, but here's my problem. I can't decide whether to call it a brain dump or a confession. One feels more safe. The other feels more hooky. Can you give me the pros and cons and maybe a title that bridges both? And then I just hit enter. And then now you're brainstorming with someone that's like up to speed on what you're doing and has some input, so that you can be more creative, and you can start to pick out. When you ask for someone to do an assignment for you, and they go do most of it and they bring it to you, he's like, oh, that's excellent. So I just removed this, and they've done most of the work. And that's what this is. And so we went with We went with a confession prompt today. But you can use this in many situations. So, for example, say that you had emails for people that are visiting your marketing blogs, and you just say, look, I don't want it to feel salesy, but I would like them to feel like, hey, this is easy, you can do it, and you don't need to be technical. But I don't know exact words to say. Can you help me brainstorm these options? Well, you want to be a good steward. You want to you've worked hard to get people to your website or to fill out a form, but you want to be diligent, and it's just hard to get all your I's dotted and your T's crossed. And so what a great thing is to spend a little time, see what it comes up with. And then you can hand this off and delegate it to your team that you're leading with more clarity so that you get more of what you want. And so this is an example. It's I wouldn't think, I do this all the time, but just truthfully, you're exhausted trying to be creative all the time, and you can't just be in the moment. And so when you see things like this, oh, that's a great idea. You're closer than you think. Thanks for stopping by my article. Most people think marketing tech is complicated, but it's really not. With the right approach, you don't need to be technical to get results. If you can send an email, you can set this up. I'll show you how. It's pretty cool. This is confessional and relatable. I used to think this was overwhelming too. I'll be honest, this stuff used to confuse me. When I first started, I thought marketing systems were only for tech wizards. The truth, they're just tools. They only need a few simple steps. So you see how all of a sudden you can get great inspiration, and you can even iterate on these. You can ask it to go back and change a few items. So let's go here. This was on, let's say you have an employee and you want to assign them a project, but again, you feel guilty. You hire an employee, you need to spend a lot of time with them and get them set up for success, but the business of the day pulls you away, right? And so you real quickly, you can start getting inspiration and direction, and actually hand them and set them clear instructions and set them up for success. And so imagine if you had a custom GPT, already knew about all of your business, already knew your products, your services, your pricing, your customers, your prospects, then you could quickly use that custom GPT to get you get you the clarity and the instructions and the assignment to your new employees, or to even hand off this agenda to your existing employee to lead that new employee orientation correctly. They're just fascinating how coming in here and just dropping your thoughts, doing a brain dump. So let's do another one here. And let's just say that, let's do this. Hey, I'm doing a live stream at the moment, and I'm not real clear how to make the segue from talking about confession prompting and how to lead into maybe someone would be interested in getting a custom GPT so that when they do a brain dump, they feel they would get content that's more clear and more impactful. So I'm a little at loss for words because I'm doing this live at the moment. Can you hook me up? Well, let's see what happens here. So I confessed. Now I'm sending it into the system. And let's see what it spits out. Segway. It's not the kind of Segway that you used to ride. Are those even around anymore? Now, here's the thing about confession prompt or brain dumping, whatever you call it. The beauty is you don't have to be polished. You just get your thoughts out, But here's where it gets powerful. Imagine if every time that you did a brain dump, instead of getting a wall of random text back, you had your own custom GPT that knows your voice, your style, your business. Suddenly, messy confession turns into content that's clear, impactful, and ready to use. That's the difference between just experimenting with AI and actually putting it to work for you. And so, as you noticed, just framed it as a natural extension, not a sales pitch, just connecting the dots. I put in messy raw input and it turned it out into a nice, clear, and useful output. So let's do our next step here. So one of the things that I do is I work with leaders and I help them set up these really powerful custom GPTs. In essence, I download your brain, I get it set up in your own GPT. It's not an off-the-shelf version, as you would see here. You would have your own custom version of that knows your voice, your mission, your vision, your products, your services. And it's a great way to meet your mini you. You know, one of the hardest things about leading an organization is you feel lonely because nobody really understands, even though they may want to, they're not in your shoes, they don't know. And a custom GPT or a mini you can be that go-to support tool. You said it. I just wished I had someone who got it. You've thought that, you felt that. So that's what I do. I work with companies. We help them get squared away in AI, implement that, be more efficient and effective. And then I work with leaders to build and design their custom GPTs. Is this something that you're interested in or you're needing? Go to roionline.com and listen, and you and I'll talk for 30 minutes and we'll figure out if this is something that you need, and we'll figure out where to go from there. AI Made Simple, man. So the way to go about using these tools, you know, everybody tells you how to do these prompts, these specific prompting, etc. You don't need it. You just confess. Confession. You know, the problem with confessing is for people being judgmental, but your AI is not judgmental. Do a brain dump. Get it squared away. You got this. I'm Steve ROI Brown. This is AI Made Simple. We'll see you next week on the live version of AI Made Simple.